Yeah, Mother Nature's been threatening for quite some time, and today she delivered. Right now, we are under a weather impact alert for the heat. As Kim just mentioned, for the first time this year, Denver hit 100 degrees. We're going to get to our weather impact team in just a moment, but first, we are learning more at this hour about a deadly shooting overnight in the parking lot of a nightclub. Thanks for joining us at 4 o'clock, everyone. I'm Phil Lipoff.
And I'm Kim Christensen. We want to get straight to Kevin Vaughn with 9 News Investigates to learn a little bit more about this shooting. And Kevin, we're hearing this was between two groups that apparently had long had a beef with one another.
Yeah, Kim, Denver Police Chief Ron Thomas tells us this began hours earlier in Aurora when these two groups of people got into some sort of dispute. They then ended up here at Ultra Lounge along East Hampton Avenue near Kennedy Golf Course. Through most of the morning, the open sign blinked at Ultra Lounge, but instead of patrons, the business swarmed with police investigators after a shooting that left one person dead and sent 8 others to the hospital.
There was a disturbance in the parking lot. We were called to that. We were en route when the second call was received.
Denver Police Chief Ron Thomas said that second call was for gunfire. That was at 12:07 a.m. Thomas said the trouble was confined to a patio and parking lot, and that it actually started hours earlier in Aurora. Denver police later confirmed that earlier incident occurred at Water Wars, a water fight with live music and food at Del Mar Park in Aurora. Aurora police tell us they responded to the park just after 7 last night on reports of a fight with weapons. Officers ticketed 3 people and made 1 arrest. Whether anyone Aurora police encountered were among those who ended up at Ultra Lounge isn't known. On its Facebook page, Ultra Lounge billed itself as the official after-party of Water Wars. It was about 5 hours after the incident in Aurora that gunfire erupted at the nightclub.
Apparently that confrontation spilled over to this location later in the day where they confronted each other on the outdoor patio as well as in the parking lot, and gunfire ultimately erupted.
The shooting was an exclamation point.
Quite a troubling situation this weekend.
An exclamation point on a violent 72 hours in which Denver police responded to multiple shootings that left at least 4 people dead. We tried today to reach the owner of this nightclub. We have not heard back. We also have not been provided any information about the person who died in this incident. And Denver police told us in the last hour they had no update on their ongoing search for a suspect or suspects in this shooting. Live in Southeast Denver, Kevin Vaughn, 9 News.
So much that we still don't know. Thank you, Kevin, for what we do know. Thanks for sharing that. Right now, Denver City Council is meeting, and they are expected to decide whether the hours at some bars can be extended until 4 a.m. without extending last call for alcohol. The idea is it would cut down on fights and other issues when the bars let out at 2 a.m. And while some bar owners are asking for more specific rules, it seems most of Denver City Council is on board with this. So we'll keep you updated as to what happens.
Looking live outside right now where thousands of people are under a heat advisory today. Our team has called a weather impact alert for the heat. Senior meteorologist Chris Bianchi is here now with a look at the forecast. We were wondering when it would happen. Today it happened. 100 degrees.
Oh, you're feeling the heat right now.
How does it feel out there?
Soaking it in.
You know, there's nothing more enjoyable than a suit and tie and 100-degree temperatures in the.
Well, you really are under the heat dome. It kind of looks like a dome.
I'm gonna have to redo my makeup when we get back inside. I think it is. This just in. It's hot outside, and I'm living proof with the heat right now. Hit 100 degrees in Denver for the first time in over a year, and that heat, it's going to continue over the next few hours. In fact, one of the kind of big takeaways, right? We hit 100 degrees. You heard about that, right? We've talked about that plenty here over the last hour plus. But one of the big takeaways, you're going to Red Rocks tonight, right? You're going to go see Hillary Duff and jump around at Red Rocks. The thing is, it's not going to drop below 90 until probably 8:30 or 9 p.m. tonight. So don't overlook the fact that it's going to take a while for us to cool down. And we're used to those nice, crisp summer evenings, even in those hotter days. It usually drops down about 60 degrees. Not going to do that today. 100 degrees for the first time in over a year. By the way, Greeley at the airport, 106 today. Boulder, also your first 100-degree reading of the year as well. Colorado Springs topping out at 101. So again, though, if you're looking for some cool stuff, Go up to Breck or Leadville, it was in the 60s and 70s thanks to some slow-moving storms sitting over the northern Front Range and down through the I-70 corridor as well. This is where we're seeing the bulk of the rain right now. Again, Frisco, Breck on west of Vail getting some needed rain and some beneficial water. Happy to see that, and eventually that rain is going to move down into the metro area as well. You're going to have to wait a few more days, though. It's going to be tomorrow and especially Wednesday. I'll get into details on that stormier and cooler forecast in just a few minutes.
We look forward to cooler. Thank you so much, Chris. Colorado's latest wildfire started last night. The Hartman Hill fire is burning southwest of Kremling near the Grand and Eagle County line. It's small so far. New mapping today puts that fire at about 26 acres, but it is burning uncontained. And people in southwestern Grand County and Eagle County have been told to remain ready to evacuate if necessary. And that's in case, of course, the fire spreads. Meantime, the largest fire burning in Colorado right now has grown. The Aspen Acres fire burning on the Pueblo and Custer County line is now more than 100,000 acres. That's about 157 square miles, bigger than the size of Denver at this point. The good news is containment is growing as well. We're going to have much more on that, but with more than 1,300 firefighters working the line, it is up 61%. The firefight is taking its toll, though, on firefighters on the front lines of the Willow Fire burning near Leadville. Over the weekend, officials say 12 people were hurt. I mean, it's a combination of things. We've got minor illnesses, injuries of the fires, and of course, there's the heat, too. Everyone was treated and returned to work. The Willow Fire has burned more than 7,000 acres or 11 square miles. It's 41% contained.
Today, Coloradans honored the pilot killed while fighting the Gold Mountain fire. Procession carried 56-year-old Nicholas Dale from the mountains to Denver International Airport and made its way through I-70 today. Hundreds of firefighters lined the road for more than 200 miles to pay their respects. Dale was killed just over 1 week ago when his helicopter crashed into Silverjack Reservoir while he was fighting the Gold Mountain fire near Ouray. He's the fourth firefighter to die within just the last month battling wildfires here in our state.
It is a small community, it's a tight-knit community that really works together and supports each other, and this is just one way we can show support for everybody out there doing the hard work.
Dale was from Canada, and he came here to Colorado to help fight fires hundreds of miles away from his home. The NTSB now tells us they are investigating the specific cause of the crash.
So we've all been there with customer service. It can be really frustrating. Steve, on your side, got a call about a story that is a real doozy.
Yeah, a storage company accidentally double drew his money in a payment. Now, that may have happened to some people, but when he asked for a refund, he was met with the threat of auctioning his belongings.
What?
Right. So 9 News consumer investigator Steve Stager got on the case.
But I'm not past due.
All Mark wondered needed was 4 tiny walls.
I'm not going to quit. I just wanted to follow up to see where we might be on this.
Little did he know he'd find himself running straight into one.
Nobody can reach nobody.
Back in May, Mark decided to upgrade his public storage unit for good reason.
My mom, she's 86, and she just moved back in with me as I'm taking care of her.
His rent went up. He had to pay the difference, $55.84, which he did, unknowingly, more than once.
I brought it to their attention the day that I moved in on May 31st that there was a double payment because their system had glitched.
There it is on Mark's bank statement. 2 charges on the same day for $55.84. Something you'd think would be pretty easy to sort out.
I've got to, pay a bill by June 7th, so I need you to please do me a favor and refund it. Our policy is we don't give refunds, but we can apply this to your next month's rent.
Despite the glitch, Public Storage wasn't going to pay him back.
They're like, well, we're sorry. We still don't do refunds.
Mark needed that money, so he asked his credit union for a chargeback on one of those 2 payments.
They're calling me saying, hey, you owe us money. I'm like, I looked at my app. I'm like, I don't owe you money.
Public Storage not only said Mark owed them $55.84. No, they now said he owed nearly $100 in fees because they suddenly had no record of that double payment.
But I'm showing it to you. Well, sorry, you have not paid, and we're going to have to auction your stuff off if you don't make your payment.
Public Storage locked his unit down, even set an auction date. Mark kept calling.
It's taken me 5 days to get to the escalation team to even talk to somebody there.
After 17 attempts,
I want to give you whatever other proof that you need.
he finally invited us along for the ride.
You will have to leave my property off.
Me? Because
Press is not on my property.
Steve on Your Side didn't give up either. We sent a lot of emails, never got a reply. Made a lot of calls, never got any answers.
You can't reach anybody.
But even if our calls didn't get us a response, they seemed to get Mark one.
The vice president of the Denver operations contacted me personally.
They let Mark back into his unit
There's stuff I would be lost in here that I would never have been able to get back.
and canceled the auction.
This is a piece of Interstate 70.
They waived all the fees,
Mom's Angels. This is just part of them. This is not all of them, of course.
even credited him next month's rent for all the trouble. So what was the secret code to get through? We may never know.
This day would not have happened if it wasn't for the team at 9 News. Can't you just take a look at it in the first place? And if you see it's really wrong, handle it.
So Public Storage still has not returned our request for comment on what exactly happened here. So what should you do if you're in a situation like Mark and you're double charged? The first thing you do what Mark did. Go to the company, try to get their attention, escalate to a manager. Then, if you're still having trouble, take it to a consumer protection authority like the Attorney General's office, or even try posting an online review. You're protected if it's a truthful review. Everything is honest. Post it there because their public persona matters to them. They might respond to you and get back in touch. If not, reach out to us, Steve on Your Side at 9news.com. I'm Steve Stager, Steve on Your Side, 9 News.
See so many of your stories, Steve, and just in my own life, living, that people, if they would just take a look at it, right, when someone calls, it could avoid so much nonsense afterwards.
And it sounds like this, and just based on the recorded phone call that we heard between the VP and Mark, it sounds like potentially there was a systems issue on the side of customer service, but this is just one of those areas where it seems like common sense. He's showing you a bank statement that says there were two things taken out of it. At least somebody just listen to it and try to get a resolution. And we often find sometimes it takes, the news to get
Yeah, but if you do it the right way, you're probably going to get a positive review, and they do live for those reviews.
They do, yeah.
A lot of companies do it the right way, and people brag on them all the time.
Yeah, everybody always asks me, is it worth posting a review? Is it worth going to the Better Business Bureau? Yes, because that's where people look.
Or Steve on Your Side. Thank you, Steve.